So this guy won a bunch of Olympic medals, got famous, and then he unalived someone. Now his name is Oscar, but we'll call him Blade Runner, because that's what everyone calls him. Now Blade Runner is a Paralympic runner who's really good at what he does. He won a bronze medal, he's won a couple of gold medals, he's won a bunch. He set a new Paralympic record, and that's all great. But one day, Blade decides that's not enough for him. He doesn't just want to compete in the Paralympics, he wants to compete in the Olympics and race against athletes who don't have disabilities. So he trains really hard, and after about 5 years of waiting for approval from the Athletics Foundation, he's finally officially allowed to compete against non-disabled athletes. So he goes and he competes in the London Olympics. Now, he doesn't win any medals that year, but it's still a huge deal because he's the first ever double amputee to compete in the traditional Olympics. And besides, he's still kicking ass because he goes on to race in the Paralympics that year and he wins 2 gold medals and a silver. And so the world loves Blade Runner. He's a great athlete with a cool story, and at this point, he's got fans and they're giving him all sorts of catchy nicknames. They call him like Blade Runner, they call him the fastest man with no legs, and he even starts getting brand deals with major companies like Nike. Heard of them? So bro's career is going great. And then it gets better, because Blade meets this woman, Riva. And Riva is a model, and she's an aspiring attorney, and Blade thinks Riva is fine, and Riva thinks Blade is fine. And eventually, they start dating. And they're a cute couple, and they seem to be really happy together. Until they aren't. Because, as it turns out, Blade's got quite an anger problem. And he's kind of a jerk to Riva sometimes. Like, he often gets mad at her over little things. Like, allegedly, he can talk about other women he's dated in the past, but if Riva even slightly mentions an ex, Blade Runner flies off the handle. He's that kind of boyfriend. But then, one night, about 3 months into their relationship, it all falls apart. Because allegedly, they're at Blade's house that night, and they get into an argument. And it gets heated. Like, really heated. And they're shouting, and they're screaming at each other, and the fight is so loud that it wakes the neighbors up. And at some point, Riva, she gets scared of him. She gets so scared of him that she runs into the bathroom, and she slams the door, locking herself in there. And Blade, he's pissed. She can't just run away from him like that. So he goes and he gets his pew-pew. And he takes it and he points it at the bathroom door and he pulls the trigger. Blam, 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 blam. He shoots through the door 4 times and bullets fly through the wood and they hit Riva in her hip and in her arm and in her head. And Riva falls to the floor. And Blade, he freaks out and he quickly puts on his prosthetic legs and he grabs a cricket bat and he starts beating the bathroom door to break it down. And there, he sees his girlfriend on the floor and she's barely breathing. And ultimately, sadly, poor Riva, she passes away before the ambulance gets there to help her. And so, bam, police arrest Blade Runner and they charge him with murder. 2 weeks later, his case goes to trial. And Blade's attorneys argue not that he got mad at Riva and unalived her, but that he was woken up in the middle of the night and he thought there was a burglar hiding out in his bathroom. And that's why he rolled up and started blasting. Because yeah, I guess a burglar would just break into your house and then lock themselves in your bathroom. Anyway, so this trial goes on for 7 months with all this evidence being thrown around. And eventually, the judge actually accepts Blade's story that he thought there was a burglar in the bathroom. And the court ultimately finds him guilty, but not of murder, of culpable homicide, which I guess is like manslaughter. But it's a way lesser charge than murder. But then later, the case is appealed, and the Supreme Court finds that Blade actually is guilty of actual murder. Either way, Blade Runner is ultimately sentenced to a total of 13 years, 5 months in prison. Here's what he looks like in real life. And earlier this year, after serving 9 years of that sentence, he was released, and he's out now. So, shout out to South Africa, I guess.
I bet you like that video. Like, comment, share, and follow us for more videos. Thank you.